Hiya ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Genshin Impact. I did not mean to do 2 videos, but we started talking, I started explaining things, and it all just kind of went to shit. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Welcome back to Genshin Impact. Today, we are, in fact, going to be triple crowning Razor. Now, if you did miss the first video where we went over like what he is right now, which without being all the way fully sent, incredibly good. Even if you just stayed there forever, it'd be more than enough. And again, the reason why I'm triple crowning a 4-star, is because I want to see a test in my head that I've been wondering for a while, which is it better to invest in a good, really good 4-star DPS, who you have max constellation for, or at least the constellations that buff your talents, than a 5-star that you have no ability to buff their talents because their constellations, well, it's hard enough to get one 5-star. It's unlikely that she'll get max constellations of them. And yeah, just kind of a test I want to see, is it possible for a 4-star to be, is it better to invest in a 4-star that you have max constellation for than a 5-star with 0 constellations, especially if you are intending to buff up the ever-living shit out of their talents. Now yes, this kind of goes back and forth with if the talents are good, and of course Razors, all of them are incredibly good, intrinsically playing into each other perfectly, all that stuff. I keep rambling on the same talking points, but I think it's because they're quite valid. But ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are going to be also, this is just, that's like, hey brain, this is going to make you feel better about a choice. Okay, but then there's the heart of it, which is Razor was one of the first characters that I got a great deal of constellation for because I wanted him specifically, so I waited for a banner with him on it, and it all kind of just worked out. I got like 7 or 8 of him, which is a little too much, but very happy with the character. It got me through a lot of the game and made my experience just like incredibly enjoyable, because having like a good, fun, interesting main character that you're constantly playing as you're looting, as you're fighting, as you're experiencing events is amazing. And having like the basic ass character, that's why I'm so like, again, you want to pick a character that you want to be the character that hopefully is also good, and then if you're able to get both of them in one, you're gonna have a great, amazing time with this game. Sometimes you can't have that, but I was lucky enough to. But ladies and gentlemen, today we're gonna be paying it back to our boy who is always there from the get-go, who is my favorite when it comes to aesthetic almost. I think he's absolutely incredible in terms of his design. Fully sending it. Let's do this. Razor, it is time. Okay. Oh, so many events, so much, honestly, the events were chill. This shit is brutal. Okay, it's the farming, the talent books, the getting this. Yeah, also, it's a good idea to just forget and just do your weekly bosses and just expect that you're never gonna have enough talent material. Because I wanted to level up Razor a lot, but I never had enough of this resource. And I still don't. I had to use other shitty resources that I have like 15 of to level up or to convert and get one of these. So, you know, great. Anyways. Regardless, Razor's talents for leveling up his basic attack are getting pretty bumped up, specifically this one, the final hit in his combo, which he can easily get to, especially if you have him at tier 10 on his ult, which if you guys don't know, Razor's ult gives himself 40% attack speed bonus, and if you happen to have the weapon that I do, you're getting another 12 or something, or 10, plus attack buff when you hit enemies enough times, which perfectly intrinsically fades right into Razor's kit, which is lovely. Not only that, but other benefits of this ult is you're gaining elemental or electro resistance, which is so much electro resistance where it makes everything in the game that does electro, like the stupid wizards that fucking blitzkrieg you, do nothing, which is great. The other thing, and this is the main thing why I think Razor is so undervalued, is because Razor isn't very showy. He's not like a Eula or a Hu Tao, or a, what's her name? Yennefer even comparing her to on board. Yennefer can hit for like 14k with her charges and all these weird things, where Razor hits incredibly quickly with 3 or 4 different damage types, so he just melts things in seconds. But you don't see any of those like big numbers or anything like that. But what he does have is he's incredibly potent and consistent. Now he's not like a drop of fucking cyanide, but he is a flurry of I don't know, dude. I've been sitting here for 2 seconds. I'm just like, I don't know where the analogy could go from there. Help me. Anyways, regardless, he's incredibly consistent and can basically back-to-back his ult. That's something that I think, I don't want to say anything, but I feel like that's not. It says there's 5 seconds of downtime, like his ability goes for 15 seconds and his cooldown is 20 seconds. I call it bullshit because I'm always able to switch, like basically just fire up his ult again. So, okay, even if it's 5 seconds, it's 5 seconds. You can switch to other characters. It's not 5 seconds. It's not. I promise you. Anyways, regardless, also activating your elemental burst is going to give you a shit ton of extra damage. Again, it is kind of still in the middle of what you want to do with Razor. You could build him for electro damage. This ability hits really hard. It's for like 15 or 12k per scratch, and you can do it every 3 seconds, and it's generating you particles, and it's giving you seals, which increases your capacity to get ult stuff. It's just really good. Not only that, but when you activate your ult, you're able to immediately do a heavy smash of this for free. So yeah, all of those things. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's do it. So much money, so much. It's the more that really kills me. Ah, shit. Oh, it's so much material, so much money. But Razor, hey, you're worth it, my guy, my boy, my son, the boy who took me to the very furthest points of this game. Also Venti should not be discouraged. Venti's a huge part of that as well. We don't really play Venti though. You kind of just do one thing with Venti and then stop. Razor's whole kit is just a blast. Also, it's not fucking clunky or basic. It's a fucking mobile game we're playing, guys. Chill the hell out. Alright? Christ. We come from games called Let It Die and Dark Souls and shit. Eat me. Calm down. It does give me a little bit of OCD that his attack does not scale at the 4th hit for 250. Instead it's 243. Maybe if you had Child, it would bump it up 1 tick, which would be kind of cool, but whatever. Regardless, let's go with the one that's the most important, because these two perfectly play into each other. This one is just kind of some sauce on top that's good for again, whenever you do somehow find yourself without your ults, you're going to be able to hit them and hit hard with that thing. So also that's going to bring it up to a nice 423, not some sort of 300 and whatever nonsense. Anyways, boom. Going so much money. Even though I'm happy for my boy, I'm just like, it's so much money. That one though is a very even 340 elemental burst damage, which is great. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, oh my god, final thing. I've found the perfect amount of almost everything, but my god, my money. Money's so, oh my god, I have no money. Oh, I gotta do ley lines into something. Oh god. Also, I do the artifact run, man, so I need to do something. But ladies and gentlemen, that should be an achievement, but Genshin don't have any sort of flashy achievement, but we did it. It just feels crazy. That we 5-starred, or we maxed talent, we triple crowned someone. I could have just gotten away with crowning his alt and then been fine. Or it's just basic attack, because that's also huge. But again, the reason why I wanted to do this is mostly also for a test of Razor. Everything feeds into every part of him. The 4th hit hitting for so much is incredibly relevant because we have an amplified buff to our attack speed. Not only that, but we also have a demon wolf above our head attacking with however we attack, so we're basically ×2ing our damage in some ways, as well as increasing the speed of that damage's output because of the attack speed, and also just buffing our base damage, because it says 51 normal attack bonus damage. Fantastic. And also it what do you call it? It's again, we can back-to-back it. We can get into our ult incredibly fast because a lot of Razor's like base abilities has to do with energy recharge, so we're able to get to his ult faster, which is incredible. This one, in order to get to your ult, we're going to be using our E to generate particles. Now, unlike other characters, Razor generates a absolute shit ton of particles. He generates 3 particles for an ability that comes back in 3 seconds. That's pretty nutty. Not only that, but the more times you use your E, the more times you generate sigils, the easier it is to get your ult constantly. And also, with Razor having an incredible attack speed, a shit ton of like damage coming out from 6 different types of angles. Also, he has his wolf. Whenever you do your E, when his wolf's activated, you get a stupid huge radius of energy electro damage by his wolf, which is incredible. Also, what is the other thing that I wanted to quickly mention? It's kind of relevant. One of his abilities, was it this one? Yeah. Basically, whenever you activate your wolf, your cooldown is reset. So using this basically gives you your cooldown back, so you can use your ult and then smash the ground which is at this point scaling to 627%. Huge, way more than 400. So you might as well, whenever you use your ult, smash the shit out of the ground, get a shit ton more particles for your next activation of your ults, and just profit that way if you have enough elemental recharge. So again, it's the fact that everything feeds into itself, because you're going to need to use your E to get your ult back, but you also don't. The good thing about Razor as well is that you can basically back-to-back his ult by simply, when you're in his ult, hit E once. You'll generate a seal. When you come out of it, smash the ground. You have your ult back again. Even though I don't even think that's the case. If you're just using your E every now and again, you're still generating particles when your wolf is activated, which is something that not a lot of other characters can say. Who is Xiao? Xiao cannot create particles when he's in his ult. Razor can, easily. So yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, enough me gushing about my boy. Let's go run around and see the damage he can do. Now, by the way, this is our stats, so this is what he's scaling off of. I did inadvertently build Razor really well, because I built Eula, so I built Razor. Because if you built Eula, you'll build Razor. So, if you want a consistent damage dealer, whereas again, Eula has her place in this game. She's fantastic, great, aesthetic as hell, but she's a burst character that kind of you don't get to use her mechanics, because if you build her properly, she's gonna kill things before you can use them. Whereas Razor, you're able to use all of his mechanics, and he has a longer performance time. So Eula, when you use her ult, most enemies die by the time it hits the ground, and if you wait to stop damaging them, it'll hit the ground, they'll die, and then you'll have to wait a couple seconds for her ult to come back, and you'll have to generate a lot of particles to get her ult back, which is time consuming, whereas Razor works entirely within his kit. He doesn't need anyone's help, more or less. And also, his ult lasts a crazy long time after Eula's ult ends. So he can keep dealing damage out on the field for a longer period of time, spreading it out, rather than just dealing a boatload of it at one point. His energy recharge, not that great. It's 140, and we always have our ult. Crit rate 150, crit damage 160, not great. His crit, it's kind of good. His crit damage is pretty great. His crit rate is also pretty decent too. The main thing though that we're after for our build for Razor, because I just want him to be able to deliver all the time, is of course physical damage, 130 specifically. And his what do you call it? His weapon is this. It is a 5-star weapon, so it's scaling up his base attack quite well. Yeah, almost immediately we're gonna be able to obtain 36 a bonus attack on top of 12,000 attack speed. And again, this is at refinement 1. People who are whales who have much more can take this even further. So yeah. All right, let's go ahead and run around and see what Razor can now do. Again, I don't think it's gonna be fucking astonishingly crazy from like what we were doing, but it should be pretty good. I tried doing the like different things basically, and it didn't work out for me at all, because the way the Spiral Abyss is sectioned, the enemies that we're fighting are just awful. So like this one, it's just a bunch of freeze stopping me from doing anything, and it's not even that I can't do it, it's just that it's hard to showcase damage numbers, which is all that we're here for. So we're gonna be going to the first thing, but the enemies are a little bit lower level, not by much, and it shouldn't scale too much harder. We were able to do the same amount of damage here, there. We're gonna go fight some bosses. Also, we are not trying to like get Razor to the highest possible damage. We might do that at the end, because that could be fun. But I kind of want to make a separate video about trying to manipulate physical damage as much as I possibly can. We're not trying to scale things in a weird way, so we're just gonna go with HP. But yeah, I want to see like if we use Xinyan, Zhongli, Superconduct with our characters, seeing how that can kind of get us, if we can weaken an enemy so much and then see the big damage numbers, but they'll die in 2 seconds, so it's kind of pointless. But anyways, we will be putting on Zhongli's shield. That's our kind of only tremendous gain here. Is this? Oh, also, all of them have Superconduct, because I think we've cracked the shield. Regardless, we're doing 2,000 or 20,000 damage now, consistently. Quite consistently, although I don't know if they're under the effects of Superconduct. They might be. Let's see. Does this react with Electro? No, because he has an electro buff on it, so I don't think he has. Well, great, I can see it. That's fantastic. Anyway, let's do this. Also, let's activate our alt just to see 15,000 and then 20,000 we're also dealing. If I can see. He's dead before I can see. Feels bad. Anyway, let's do this. Boom, boom, 17,000 there. I think we did 26,000. 26,000 that we're able to hit so quickly. Again, I just want to double check. Well, it's kind of frustrating because they have that shield. So on the low end, well, it's weird. It's all over the place, man. It's like it does 6,000 sometimes. Charge that we were doing. The charge we're hitting for like 17k or 15k, not bad. Let's do this again.
Solidify.
We might get a damage buff from Zhongli, so let's wait 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, hit. 14k again. Is it 14k? Is that what we're doing now? 14k? Didn't crit. 22k? Was that a crit though? Probably it was a crit. Let's do a charge attack and see if we can see it. Usually it's probably just gonna black us out though. Here we go. Great, Zhongli, thanks. Now I'm on cooldown, you rat. Anyways, fine. Oh, also, I'm a dumb. That's why we're not dealing as much damage. I keep forgetting about the Pale Wind set. God damn it. Shit. I'm gonna need to make a note of that. Okay, so guys, I keep not using my E. So I keep like we keep doing a damage test of this, but the Milliset's not activated, so it's really stupid. Anyways, let's use our E, our charge E. I mean. Okay, 9,000 low end, 21 damage is looking like what it is on the high ends. Give me a minute. And charge. 13, it's a range is all I'm getting. Usually it's not this much of a range. It seems like that though. But we're also not using a consistent amount of our abilities constantly. 11,000. Again, doesn't seem like it makes sense because we're hitting for 21,000. Nothing different. You know, let's run this back and use our E twice and then activate the 100% or whatever it is bonus to physical damage, which I was not showing in the last video, which is why I was like, why are we not dealing like 20,000 anymore? It's because I wasn't using my E because we were specifically just using our basic attack, which is goddamn me. Anyways, here we go again. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's not hit him. Let's give our E and this. All right, here we go. Yeah, see that 20,000. Now we're seeing the things again. Let's use our E. Keep that up. Also now we're hitting for 20,000. Yeah, okay. This is what we're supposed to be seeing. So it's like literally the most fundamental thing of how all of this works. I'm just like, what if I didn't show you? Like right there, we hit for 25,000, and it's because I wasn't showing you guys my E. Oh my goodness. I hate it. I hate that I'm like this because that makes everything come together. That makes us start dealing like 15,000 on the consistently, and also dealing even more overhead. Yeah. Also, we'll give it a minute. Use our E again. Also, our shields are up, so we're not dealing as much damage because that gives us a physical damage decrease as well as elemental upcrease, which increases both Razor and thing. Which I shouldn't mention, by the way. We should talk about Razor's team comp maybe in some video. But yeah. So now we have that hit for 10,000 also. Let's hit this one more time. This should give us proper things. Okay, good. Now our thing's definitely activated. 8,000 on low end. I guess these guys are just resistant to certain things, but regardless, we just hit for 15k. Pretty great. Pretty fantastic. Oh, you're hitting me. It's fine because Razor has incredible resistances. By the way, Razor is like a bruiser. He's got a ton of defense. So yeah, he can take it if he needs it. Also, he's got 20,000 HP at this point, which is nutty. Anyways. Now, let's use his alt, which, by the way, also was fucking up. So because I didn't use my E twice whilst I was in my alt, or at least before I went into my alt, I wasn't going to be able to see those big numbers like I should have been. Because on a passive, we were hitting for 25,000 without our alt, without our increase to normal damage and all that. So we should see. Let's do this. Some of this. Again, I should stop hitting. Let's do this. This. Everything's kind of dead. I can't see anything because things 21,000 we hit for just then. That's our weakest attack. Our first opening attack is our weakest. Let's keep using this. All right, our alt should, or our Pale Flame set should be activated. Let's use it again. Make sure that's activated. Again, we're gonna be able to shatter that because Electro. We're gonna have our alt back in a hot minute. Do this. Do this. Do this. And again, our Pale Wind set should be activated. 14,000. Again, this is without physical, or sorry, the cryo bonus basically. So like the superconduct. Sorry, was what I'm trying to say. So we're dealing 8,000 on the low end. What seems like 25 we hit for at some point on the high end. But it's again, it's all whether we crit or not, and where our crit rate is not too crazy, which is we could make it crazy if we activated the one thing. Some of this. Some of this. Didn't mean to do that shit. This. Well, now superconduct activated, so this is already corrupted. This is already a corrupted in case. Yeah, see, we did 18k because superconduct was activated again. If we just did this, did this, we're dealing 20k almost there, 17k. Again, that's if everything has superconduct applied, which these two do. So give me a minute. But also, again, I need my. It's like it's trying to get Pale Wind up. Everything dies before you can get anything up because it's just kind of that good. Oh, okay, so I want to just kind of go all out. Essentially, I want to do one of these, do one of these. Probably should have made our crit better by doing this. 15k, 18k. Give it a minute. This. Make sure our things keep our Pale Wind sets up. 18k to 20k, 27k. See, then when you finally get that heavy hitting and critting, we hit for 30k basically, which is nutty. Again, we're stuck to fucking, what are we stuck on? I don't even know. Anyways, we have our ult again, because that's just what playing Razor's like. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and this. So again, when Razor gets cooking, it's pretty astonishing. Anyways, let's leave. Let's go fight some bosses. That should be probably a better determining factor of being able to see what the hell's happening, because a lot of it's like, I think it's working. It's a fucking nightmare. Oh no! All I know is things are dying. This is the worst. The numbers don't make sense. The numbers, Mason. So again, the thing that I'm like forgetting about, which is, it's funny because you don't need to do any of this because Razor at a base is fine. Like you're hitting for 9 to 14k. But again, when an elemental skill, your E, hits an enemy, you get 18 bonus attack for 7 seconds because it can stack twice. Once 2 stacks are reached, the 25% physical damage is increased by 100%, which is huge. So if I'm not doing that, we're not getting the massive physical damage buff. We're just getting the base, again, we're not even getting the attack buff. So yeah, that's why I'm like, oh my god, the last video was a nightmare. I did none of the things that we were supposed to do. Anyways, yeah, let's just try to fold again. It's kind of stupid because you can't really like show much of anything because of the way the build and everything kind of works. Let's also do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Oh shit, I don't have my ult. Oh no, my ult! Oh well, this might just be showcasing his base because I was silly and nonsense stupid. Let's do this again. Everything's gonna die anyway, and yeah. But again, good news. I have a lot of. I can melee, kill other creatures, run over here, kill this creature, run over here, kill this creature. Oh, look at me, it's still going. Whereas most characters don't have that. Most characters peak and then they stop. And if I wanted to, again, I could use my ult immediately. Again, let's make sure we go into the next encounter with Razor's ult. Also, we have a daily to do, so it all works out. Oh, that was something that I wanted to show. I kept mentioning it. But Razor, if we go to his talents, this one, it scales the weakest. So his first attack, 170. Oh, actually, not the weakest. It's second weakest. 170, where our first hit hits. Our second hit hits for 147. Disgusting. And then our last hit, basically, for skipping the third one, it hits way, way harder for 240. So that's where we're seeing like the 30 some odd damage or something. And again, we can still attain more crit damage with this setup. And again, if we use Rosaria, we're going to be hitting that consistently because of her weird crit rate thing. Also, again, Shinsho is just kind of crazy by default. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. I probably could use my charge there because that would have given us more particles. Let's do this. This. Again, we don't rock. Okay. I was trying to build our Pale Wind set because I had to hit E twice. Actually, we might have gotten it. Actually, yeah, we might have gotten our E finally cooking. But regardless, I don't know what our E, what that did, because that's, I think, amplified. So that also is buffed. So when we have our ult going, we get the, what is it, normal attack buff. Yeah, normal 51% bonus to normal attack, as well as the 50% elemental or 34% elemental burst weirdness. Okay, so good news, we don't need to activate superconduct because this guy is cryo, generally speaking. So yeah, we're fine in that front. But we probably will still activate Rosaria just so that we can get all of the bells and whistles, because we want that crit rate, that consistency to see what the actual damage output will look like. And again, you don't need Rosaria. You don't even need superconduct. Anything like that. Razor's fine if you just put him on. Again, the end result is you having hitting things 2 more times, which, because he has increased fire rate, happens instantly. All of this video is me gushing about Razor, by the way, and I will not hear anything else. I will not hear any other comment. Okay. Anyway, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. 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 Yeah, so you're really easily able to get to the max set of your Pale Wind set, as long as you're going into combat with your ult. Again, if I had Shincho's ult here, it would be even faster. And again, I could use my E again, but I'm not. Even though I think at this point, because I leveled up my E, it's actually probably better damage than just my base hitting. Which again, there is an argument for people saying that you should just play Razor with like as much physical damage as that you can. But also, why not just go with an artifact that buffs your elemental reaction, or your electro damage, sorry. And you could. I just happen to, a lot of my build's damage is coming from this specific set, and then the only one I can change is my critical damage helmet, which isn't that great. So yeah, that's what happened. Also went so much into HP in that one. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, yes, very, very happy with my purchase, with my investment. But I will say, as of like, should people do this? Again, what do you want? Do you want to level up a character because you appreciate having them and that you're thinking like they're your favorite character in the game more or less? And yes, then yes, absolutely. But in terms of power and like efficiency, and probably what you should do is no, absolutely not. You should invest in characters like Shincho that are kind of going to always be good for every team forever, kind of thing. You know, like a Zhongli. Like a better choice would be to invest in Zhongli and in Shincho with the 3 crowns that I did in just 2 of their abilities, even if it's just their ult and whatnot. But again, Shincho is a good choice because Shincho I have a lot of consolation for, so I'll be able to make him really, really strong with whatever talent that I invest in. But Zhongli I can't say the same thing. Zhongli I don't have the most talents for. Now that doesn't mean that it's bad to crown them, it just means I don't know if it's as good to crown a character like Zhongli, who I can't basically take to the highest possible heights like I can with a Razor to like level 13 rather than just 10, 10, 10. I can do 10, 13, and 13. Which I think can probably be better because it just keeps going up and up and up and up. And yeah, especially with Razor is kind of a special case too, because it's not just that, it's the fact that his ult basically just makes this ability better, whereas not a lot of characters do that. A lot of characters are like fundamentally based around different things, whereas Razor fundamentally goes with every part of him, which is again why I keep saying he intrinsically works. But yeah, again, people also, I just like the character, so I try to find like how to defend him essentially as also a fair take, because I enjoy the character quite a bit. But yes, nope, Razor, sit. All right, good. The sit thing was a little weird because of contextually. Anyways, because of weird nonsense. Anyways, but ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm very, very happy with what I did. Again, I like the results that we get when things are queued up and just tons of DPS be coming out of Razor. Regardless, again, if someone is watching this and they're like, I want to do that too, just be careful with crowning DPSs because they come and go. And again, crowning your supports, it's just going to be beneficial to any team that you go with. And it does seem like a lot of what Genshin is running one main DPS with a bunch of other supports. And that seemingly is just incredibly good. Now, with that being said though, we have not shown Razor at his absolute best. More or less, I still could have used. I showed you a little bit with superconduct, kind of, just because I couldn't. In order to use Rosaria, you kind of need to apply cryo. Regardless, we could use Xinyan. We could also use Venti to decrease his elemental resistance and make his wolf hit harder, which could be a whole other way you could build him and play him, which both work, by the way. And in some cases, I think it may be, if you have enough energy recharge, the electro bonus could be in some cases better. We'll see though. Again, it's the fact that your attack speed gets amplified, but also your wolf is overhead and it's hitting really hard anyways, so it probably just all is in the middle, all kind of works, so to speak. Especially if you have a Chi-Chi, or you can constantly keep detonating element, or superconduct, or something like that, or even a Shincho who can constantly keep chaining lightning to everybody, even though Razor doesn't have an incredible amount of elemental mastery, because you want crit rate, crit damage, and of course physical damage if you can, or electro damage. Considering Razor scales off of physical damage, you could go electro and still get the best at both worlds. Although it would suffer from, I think, even more the problem, which is not a problem, but it's the idea that Razor doesn't look showy because he attacks with like 6 different types of damage, which kind of get blurred whilst you're attacking. All you see is like an enemy drop, and that's, I think, a better factor of how good a character is not necessarily the biggest number you can see, but how quickly an enemy can get put in the ground and how much that character can consistently perform after that. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I'm so happy with my purchase. Can't wait to go run around and play with Razor. I probably will also play with Eula quite a bit still, because she's kind of still new and fresh and all these things. I also just like Eula in general, and her kit, even though you can't use a lot of it sometimes. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. Subscribe button's over there to my right. Thank you once again, and of course, goodbye.